You know that feeling, right? You put all this work in your garden, everything's looking great, and then bam, pests.
Mhm. Yeah, the eternal struggle.
Really is. And today, we're doing a deep dive into, well, a surprisingly common garden pest ants, but with a twist.
Okay.
We're looking at some really interesting observations from Notes on Gardening, part 645, by someone named Ang. And Ang might have found a pretty unexpected solution.
Ah, I like unexpected solutions, especially in gardening.
Me too. So our mission today is to dig into these notes, maybe uncover some effective, if maybe unconventional, strategies, and understand the biology behind it all.
Sounds good. And, sometimes the best insights really do come from just watching closely, like Aang seems to have done here. It's not just
Yeah,
about knowing what works, but really understanding why pests are doing what they're doing. That's the key.
totally agree. So Ang kicks things off by pointing out, well, how common ants are everywhere
A constant presence.
and often showing up alongside those other usual suspects. Ang mentions whiteflies, mealybugs, aphids.
The trifecta of trouble, basically.
Right, but here's what grabbed me. Ang connects ant colonies popping up or getting bigger to specific weather, like rainfall and humidity. Is that a known thing?
Oh, definitely. Aang's observation really nails it. Those environmental cues are huge for ants.
This is not just random.
Not at all. What's fascinating is more rain and humidity doesn't just mean softer soil for digging, though that helps.
Okay.
It often means more food for them, too. Think about it, humid conditions. That's often prime time for those honeydew-producing pests to multiply.
Ah, like the mealybugs and aphids Ang mentioned.
Exactly. So the weather is basically like a dinner bell and a construction permit for the ants. Green light for expansion, more foraging. That's why you suddenly see more of them.
That makes so much sense. It's a signal. And then Ang gets into this, well, this partnership.
The sticky alliance.
Yeah. Between ants and mealybugs, Ang notes that if you've got a mealybug problem, you'll often see ants showing up soon after, almost predictably.
It's a classic symbiotic relationship. Really quite clever from their perspective.
It seems like it. Ang explains the mealybugs provide the ants with honeydew.
Which is essentially sugar water they excrete. High energy food.
Right. Ang calls it nutritious. And in return, the ants act like bodyguards.
Yep. They actively protect the mealybugs from predators, ladybugs, lacewings, things like that.
So Ang's point is that a trail of ants isn't just ants marching. It's often a big flashing sign pointing towards mealybugs or other honeydew pests nearby.
Precisely. I've had people tell me they just keep spraying the ants, but they always come back.
Yeah.
Well, of course they do. Their food factory, the mealybugs, is still operating full blast. You have to tackle the source.
That completely reframes how you need to think about it. It raises that question, doesn't it? Just how connected everything in the garden really is.
Absolutely. It's an ecosystem. Treating just one part often doesn't solve the whole problem. You need that holistic view.
Okay, so we know they're working with the mealybugs. Where do these ants actually, set up shop? Ang has notes on that, too.
And it's quite specific.
Yeah, Ang says they tend to seek refuge at the bottom of the pot, but in a particular kind of spot, described as humid but drier? That sounds contradictory. Humid but drier.
It does sound a bit odd at first, yeah. But think about the base of a potted plant, maybe sitting on a saucer.
Okay.
The very bottom might stay quite damp, almost waterlogged sometimes. Ants don't like that. But just above that really wet zone, or maybe slightly wicked up the sides, the soil stays moist from ambient humidity, but it isn't soaking wet.
Ah, I see. So there's moisture in the air, but the soil itself isn't saturated.
Exactly. Enough moisture so they don't dry out, but dry enough that their tunnels hold up and they're not, swimming. It's their Goldilocks zone.
That's a key detail for actually dealing with them then.
Huge. Knowing they prefer that specific environment means you can target your efforts. Check the base of pots, especially in the slightly protected, humid but not wet areas.
Instead of just spraying the whole plant.
Right. You can be much more precise, maybe use less treatment, and hit them right where they live. It's about understanding their behavior to be more effective.
Okay, makes sense. So we've tracked them, figured out their friends, found their hiding spots. But here's the real curveball from Ang.
The solution.
Yeah. You know how we usually reach for dish soap and maybe some oil? That standard garden spray mix.
The go-to, yeah.
Well, Ang claims that eradicating these ant colonies is most effective not with the usual mixture, but with laundry detergent alone.
Laundry detergent,
Yeah.
just straight up.
Apparently. So, have we all been using the wrong soap all this time? What's going on there?
Well, this is where it gets interesting chemically. It really shows how everyday things can have unexpected uses. Ang suggests it's because laundry detergent is different.
How so?
It contains things dish soap usually doesn't, specific enzymes, and often bleaching agents or brighteners.
Okay. And those are tougher on ants.
Much tougher. Dish soap mostly works physically. It breaks down waxy coatings, maybe suffocates them. But enzymes, they're designed to break down organic stains, proteins, fats.
Like clothes.
Exactly. And an ant's exoskeleton, its insides, that's organic matter. The enzymes can literally start breaking them down. And the bleaching agents are oxidizers, chemically disruptive.
Wow. So it's not just washing them off, it's actively dismantling them.
Pretty much. It could also obliterate their chemical trails, the pheromones they use to navigate and communicate.
Yeah.
It's likely a much more aggressive systemic attack than just dish soap.
That is fascinating. Laundry detergent. Who knew?
It's certainly food for thought.
And Aang, clearly a curious person, doesn't quite leave it there. There's this final thought in the notes.
Oh.
Aang poses this question. I wonder if vinegar, a more organic approach, would also be effective.
Ah, the organic question. Always relevant.
Right. It feels like the natural next step for anyone trying to garden with fewer chemicals.
And that's a great question for you, the listener, to maybe explore. Aang's notes give us this interesting laundry detergent insight, but also prompt further thought. What else might work?
It keeps that spirit of experimentation going.
Exactly. It frames pest control not just as following instructions, but as active observation and trying things out in your specific garden, building on ideas like Aang's.
Okay, so that wraps up our deep dive for today. We started with that common frustration, garden pests, and ended up exploring some really quite detailed insights from Aang's notes on gardening.
We covered quite a bit.
Yeah, the link between ants and weather, that whole surprising alliance with mealybugs.
And their preferred nesting spots, that humid but drier zone.
Right. And, of course, the big reveal, laundry detergent as a potential weapon. Hopefully this gives you, our listener, a new way to look at your garden. And maybe your laundry room, too.
Indeed. And maybe a final thought, really echoing Aang's approach. How often are effective solutions hiding in plain sight? Maybe something unconventional. It just underscores how valuable curiosity and careful observation are. Questioning assumptions, trying something different, like Aang did. That's often where real understanding comes from. Your garden's always teaching you something, if you pay attention.
Very true. A living laboratory.
Precisely. Keep observing, keep wondering what if. You might be surprised what you discover.